Construction News Tracker is presented by Caterpillar's new 980 and 982 wheel loaders, now on display at your local Cat dealer, and produced by 4constructionpros.com. A roughly 25% reduction in the financial request for an infrastructure plan by the Biden administration is an apparent effort to cajole Republican lawmakers to sign on. The $1.7 trillion new proposal counter offers a number lower by $550 billion. Would shift spending on manufacturing, small business, supply chains, and research and development onto other pieces of legislation. Senate Republicans had offered $928 billion in road and highway building baseline spending, including $500 billion to rebuild roads and bridges, $98 billion for public transportation, $56 billion for airports, and $72 billion for water infrastructure. The new Biden plan for infrastructure cut road and bridge spending by $39 billion from $159 to $120 billion to move closer to the GOP plan, but both sides remain far apart. Meanwhile, committee talks continue on a renewal of the FAST Act that requires new funding before it expires September 30th. The Senate Environment and Public Works Committee has put forth a $303 billion funding plan for 2022, which is $11 billion higher than the present figure. The Surface Transportation Reauthorization Act boosts by 34% the highway investment over its 5-year life. OSHA has been issuing guidance to employers on how to keep workers safe during the COVID-19 pandemic, and now confusion reigns as industry factions weigh in on the government's regulations. A coalition of employer groups such as AGC and ABC has asked the U.S. Department of Labor to be more concise in its notice on recording incident responsibilities that is confusing to employers and creates uncertainty over obligations. The big questions come over the OSHA 300 logging information required by the agency, particularly noting COVID-19 vaccine adverse reactions should not be recorded as employer mandated. Meanwhile, OSHA has advised employers to follow CDC guidelines where mask use and social distancing rules apply. Higher construction costs brought on by pandemic pressure caused the housing market to take a breather. Dodge data reports single-family housing starts dropped 18% in April, pushing the starts down 2% to a seasonally adjusted rate of $853 billion. Non-residential and non-building start gains were just not strong enough to offset the housing market decline. The Northeast and Midwest saw some improvement, but other regions of the country lost out. Dodge Data Chief Economist Richard Branch says the higher costs of construction materials, supply shortages, and the continued fallout in the number of skilled construction workers continues to plague the home building market. Some 22 states are ending the COVID-19 $300 weekly unemployment benefits program, with some instituting back-to-work bonuses instead. Let's discuss the DeSoto Bridge on I-40 over the Mississippi River near Memphis. Further review by officials discovered the inspector charged with looking at the bridge support system had failed over 2 years to note deficiencies with the girders and even notice the crack running through a steel beam. He's since been fired. Why the bridge did not collapse is a mystery. Stabilizing the bridge has been completed, but it'll be months before crews can replace the beam structure of the span on Interstate 40 over the river. Arkansas and Tennessee DOT crews are jointly involved in getting the 48-year-old span operational again. A massive development project anticipated for downtown Chicago has reached an agreement with rail operators near the site. The $20 billion One Central mega project to be built near Soldier Field has reached agreement with Metro Electric, the area's commuter rail system, to work above, below, and around their tracks without disrupting commuter operations. The announced size of One Central calls for development of 9,000 residences with 1.5 million square feet of retail space and entertainment. Some 19,000 construction workers are anticipated to work on the project that also includes a $3.8 billion transit connection for the Chicago Transit Authority and Amtrak. Premium performance, increased productivity, and lower maintenance costs are all things that contractors are looking for when they spec out new equipment. And among the items found in the new CAT 980 and 982 wheel loaders, the 10 to 12 ton class provide upwards of 10% more productivity and 20% reduced maintenance costs, and feature CVT continuous variable transmissions with as much as 35% better fuel efficiency as compared to the previous M series model wheel loaders. Another important attribute is the CAT payload with assist that provides accurate weighing of bucket payloads, an important factor out in the field with low lift weight and manual tip-off functions. And there are optional CAT systems available as well with these new 980 and 982 wheel loader machines. We encourage you to check them out soon at your local CAT dealer. In closing, it's better to choose what you say than say what you choose. This is Construction News Tracker, looking over the industry that makes the world a better place, presented by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com. Follow us on social media at Twitter using hashtag Construction News, YouTube at 4constructionpros, and on Facebook at /4constructionpros, as the streaming web never ends.
Construction News Tracker is presented by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com.